I was wondering, do you have a counterpart? Is there any other AMOCA anywhere else? Is there another place that has a similar mission and maybe similar facilities as this, or is this a completely unique operation?
It's pretty unique. There is a ceramic museum associated with Alfred University in New York. There are 2 Midwest Ohio museums. They only show ceramics from Ohio and of the arts and crafts period.
Okay, so a lot of Rookwood and Weller and all that kind of stuff.
And then the rest of all of the facilities that show ceramics are museums that do not necessarily focus on ceramics. And there's some really good ones, like ASU, Arizona State University. They have a really good ceramic section to that museum. It's a standalone building. It's I would have said that that was one of the best until we got this.
Well, of course.
It's much bigger. And then there are museums like the Everson or the Mint Museum that have outstanding ceramic collections. Even LA County Art Museum has an outstanding, but they're not always out.
Sure.
You know?
So what might be some of the aspirations that this organization has for future years?
Well, this room that you see here, we're calling Hall A.
So this is Hall A.
Yes. We have an equal space, which is Hall B, and it is undeveloped. So that's
undeveloped. And so
room.
what would be the character of Hall B when it starts to reach your potential?
We want to show our permanent collection there.
Oh,
we don't want it to be, hidden away. I don't think we can show it all at once.
So
but
is your permanent collection right now hidden away?
Our permanent collection right now is in the basement.
It's in the basement. Let me get a shot. Okay, we can't exactly show the basement, but the basement is down there, beneath that.
And so we will have, not all of our pieces are moved, but a good number of them are already moved.
Now, I was wondering, this with all these valuable things, and is this building secure?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Well, for one thing, we have alarm system. But for another thing, we have 22 cameras in use for security.
Well, what did it used to? Wasn't it a grocery store before it was?
Bank.
It was a bank. And what bank was that?
Pomona First Federal.
Pomona First Federal. Boy.
And this building was built in 1956. The studio school that we have at the other end of the block was built in 1919.
Wow.
And then Hall B, which adjoins the 2 spaces, was built in 1971.
Okay.
So,
I used to have my account here for a long time. I used to live a couple blocks away.
And this was it, huh?
Well, and I had a safe deposit box here.
Yeah.
And not once was it ever broken into.
Well, we feel we're pretty secure. This is a bank. It doesn't have a lot of access, free access,
It probably has to be one of the more secure community museums. Or when I say that, what would be more of a generic term to call this? Is this a community museum, or what would be the proper?
I wouldn't call it community because we are nationally recognized at this point. It's amazing.
Okay. So what would I call this, just as a generic term to say what you are? We will move.
We're an American museum of ceramic art, but people challenge us on that. Is it just American ceramics? Well, no, it's not.
Oh, well, I didn't think so.
So we have
what is it?
We have collections from all over the world, and I will say that most of it is American, and most of it is between 1950, say, and today.
Now, one of these, when you had an international exhibit, can you tell me about one of them that you had? One of the more interesting ones?
We had Mexican folk.
Mexican folk. But how about something, that's a little close for me. Do you have anything a little further away?
We've had exhibits from China, for instance.
And a specific province in China?
It was far back enough so that there wasn't necessarily a specific.
So in the pre-provincial
Yeah.
time
And
period.
if I were really
So
smart, I'd be able to pull the names
how old were,
up.
how old, so from in that exhibit from China, how old were some of the pieces?
They were between 5,000 and 2,000 years.
Well,
were really back.
that's pretty old.
Quite a while. And then let's see, we had
that one. How about when did you have that? About what year or month or whatever did you have your Chinese exhibit? Within the last 3 years?
I'd say it was 2007.
Okay, so 4 years or almost 5 years ago.
But we also had a pre-Columbian exhibition.
A pre-Columbian.
And that would have been, I think,
About 600 years ago, I guess.
2008, I think.
So pre-Columbian, that means before Christopher Columbus came to the United States.
That's what the general knowledge on the date is.
And what were some of the interesting things that you had from the pre-Columbian?
Well, a lot of it, for instance, Peruvian vessels, they have a characteristic stirrup that goes from one side to the other that's hollow, very often joined in the center. And they can be for drinking vessels, but they also, if you move them correctly, they make noises and beautiful sounds and so forth.
So you can hear the ocean.
Well, it's more of a whistle.
More of a whistle.
Uh-huh.
And I was wondering, now how long have you had your position here?
Well, since the beginning.
Since the beginning.
2004.
And what were you doing? What were you doing before that?
I worked for the LA County Fair. I ran their art program for 14 years.
Their art program.
And that was the Millard Sheets Center for the Arts. When I was there, it was called the Millard Sheets Gallery.
Do you have any Millard Sheets items here?
Oh, yes, we do.
What of Millard Sheets do you have?
Which was above the teller.
That mural is a Millard Sheets. Wow.
77 feet long.
77 feet long.
1956.
Okay, that's one of the smaller Millard Sheets ones. Oh, I guess not.
I think there's one that might be close in size. It was at the San Jose airport. And I figured out the square footage on that and of this one, and it's comparable. That one was twice as tall, so you had to kind of...
Now, I see that we saw that you have some Betty Davenport Ford, and she's one of the locals. She lives in Claremont. Is she still alive?
Yes, she is.
Well, I bet she's still in Claremont. And Millard Sheets, and these are some of our local artists. Are there any other people that would be in that category, the big artists from the local area?
Well, there are some from the local area who are no longer living.
And who might be?
And that would be William Manker.
So William Manker.
And he taught at Scripps.
Now that's
M-A-N-K-E-R.
K-E-R.
And then we have Ricky Pedersen, or Richard Pedersen, and that's P-E-T-T-E-R-S-O-N.
She would have put a D in there.
No, I wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't.
And
I would have put a D.
Double T.
Right.
Double T.
And he also taught at Scripps. And then we have Harrison McIntosh is still alive, and he took from Ricky Pedersen at Claremont Graduate School.
Wow.
And then Rupert Deese, who passed away this last year, and he was also a Claremont potter. Am I missing anything?
Now, have you